Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 153. We were talking earlier about Denise George and the situation going on down in the Virgin Islands in regard to the fund that is set up for the survivors, the compensation fund. And we found out that Denise George, the Attorney General, decided that she was going to go ahead and allow the compensation fund to go forward. Well, she placed some stipulations on that fund, and we're still waiting to see and hear what those stipulations might be. So as soon as I get an update on that, we'll certainly swing back that way and we'll jump back into that because it's a very important part of the case. It's very important to know what's going on down there, considering that's where he filed his estate and that's where the trust is. So it's very crucial to see which way Miss George decides to go here. But for tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to swing up north a little bit and we're going to go to Florida. And this is an article from the westpalmbeachflorida.com, WPBF.com. And it's a local station there in Florida, an ABC local station. And the headline is, Mark Epstein, victim's attorney, don't believe jail video proves Epstein committed suicide. Both men want to see proof that no one entered Jeffrey Epstein's cell the night he died. Is that too much of a far out ask? Look, whatever we may think about Jeffrey Epstein, it's still his brother, and people have rights in this country, families have rights in this country, at least we should. And if there was any question whatsoever, and there's evidence proving that Epstein, did in fact kill himself, why would the Justice Department and the Department of Corrections be so hesitant to release it? What do they have to lose? What is it, national security, like they talk about everything else is? Well, the Russians are going to find out some secrets because we released tapes on Epstein hanging himself if he did that? It just doesn't hold any weight with me. It's just a bunch of BS. And again, it's the government being secretive when they don't have any reason to be. Or do they? Palm Beach, Florida. Attorney Spencer Kuvin has been representing survivors of Jeffrey Epstein for 12 years. He has serious doubts Epstein hung himself in August. Well, join the party, pal. We all feel the same way. I'm sure just about everybody on this podcast is not convinced that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, hung himself. Look, I could be swayed either way, right? I just want to see some evidence. It's plausible that he killed himself. It's plausible that that happened. And it's also plausible that he was clipped, considering the people he was running with, considering the people that were handling him, considering what he knew. There is nothing about this case which leads me to believe it's suicide, and until I see the video, I don't believe it, said Kuvin. Agreed, right? This is the lawyer now for some of the survivors of Epstein. And he's saying he does not believe that Epstein killed himself. And you know what? Look, there is a big argument to be made that he did not. There's a lot of people out there that they just follow the official narrative, whatever it comes out. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. All right, that's what the news said. So we don't need to even look into that any further. We don't need the details. Don Lemon told us so. Sean Hannity said. And people just go on with their life, and they think that that's what happened. And you're seeing it again right now with all the misinformation about COVID-19. You're seeing how poorly it's being managed. We have one case in Las Vegas that just popped up, guaranteed more, 400 people under observation, and you still have the numbnut guy, Fernan Laguine, or whatever the heck his name is, coming out and just giving people, oh, well, just wash your hands. Like, that's going to stop it. And this is the kind of disinformation we get from our government on a regular basis. How about just telling people the truth? Why is it so hard for those in power to tell people the truth? Kuvin said he believes someone did murder Epstein in his cell despite the New York medical examiner and Attorney General William Barr concluding it was suicide. Well, look, we have two people who are unreliable. The medical examiner works for Attorney General Barr, and Attorney General Barr has not proven to be a reliable player in this matter. He has not. What has he done to get to the bottom of this? What has he done besides get in the way? He hasn't done anything that's impressing me. He didn't impress me his first run as Attorney General, and he's not impressing me the second run. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people that are, might be so politically inclined, but hey, that's just, I'm calling him how I see him, folks. And as critical as I am of one side, I'll be just as critical of the other side when I see it that way. And Bill Barr is not the right man for the job. People don't have confidence in him. He's been around in D.C. forever. I thought we were getting rid of swamp creatures. I thought that was the mantra. Well, Bill Barr is a swamp creature. How about that? Until I see the video that apparently A.G. Barr has seen inside that jail, I don't believe anything that comes out of that office, said Kuvin. Me either. Why can't we see the video? What's Bill Barr hiding the video for? Why? What's the motivation? It's not some national secret. It's not some state secret. What does it do? Put a bad light on the Justice Department? Throw a bad light on the correctional department? Well, maybe we need a bad light every now and then. You ever think that maybe the curtain needs to be opened and people need to see what's going on? I mean, if you people are not capable of administrating these sorts of places, then we'll find people who are, or we have to find people who are, because we can't be sending people to jail and to prison, high-profile people especially, with this result. WPBF 25 News obtained pictures of the jail tier where Epstein was housed. Epstein's cell was just up the steps from the guards' common area and to the right behind a locked hallway door. So you can find those pictures just when you click on the link here in the description box or go to the website WPBF.com yourself. You'll be able to see the pictures as well. The indictment against the two jail guards charged for falsifying their logs that night says, as confirmed by video surveillance, no one entered the tier in which Epstein was housed. Okay, perfect. Then let's clear this all up right now. Prove to everybody that Epstein did kill himself. Release this video. What are you waiting for? Put it on the internet. What's Mr. Barr waiting for? They want to release all kinds of other stuff, and he wants to stick his nose into this. Well, you stuck your nose into it, and what have we got? More shadow, more obfuscation, no answers. Well, that's not good enough from the highest lawman in the nation. That is not good enough. The public deserves answers. The survivors deserve answers. And even Mark Epstein deserves answers. As much of a dirtbag as I think he is, I believe that the family deserves some answers as well, right? Because at the end of the day, what if it was your family and it was a different situation, right? You'd want your family to have the information. And I think it's important that we're very transparent in situations like this. This happened at a federal facility that we fund, and you have all sorts of nonsense going on there, all on our dime. And then the real kick in the nards, the real punch to the gut, is when this guy comes out and says, oh, I saw the video, but just take my word for it. You don't need to see it. I'll tell you. You don't need to see that video. Just trust me. Don't you know I'm William Barr? You should trust me. It's just like the old saying, anytime someone shows up and says, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help, well, you know you're in big trouble. But Kuvin and Epstein's brother Mark Epstein said a video camera aimed at the guards area would not be able to see anything up these stairs and beyond the door leading to the cells. Again, it is all BS. I do not trust a single word coming out of the Justice Department. I haven't trusted the Justice Department since George Bush, okay? And before that, I probably wouldn't have trusted them then either if I would have been paying attention, but I wasn't old enough to really care about what was going on, if you want the God's honest truth. But now, I don't trust a damn word coming from the Justice Department. Not a word. And Bill Barr, and believe, when I'm talking, I'm talking about right here specifically what's going on in this case. Bill Barr is an embarrassment when it comes to this case. The way he's conducting himself in this case, oh, I saw the video, just listen to me, whatever I say, that's what happened, that's the official narrative. That's panic time, folks. That's when it's time to hit the eject button, and you know that you're in big trouble. When any sort of government bureaucrat shows up and starts spouting off about that nonsense, well, you know they're lying. What tape did Attorney General Barr see that convinced him it was suicide, said Epstein. I asked, can I see that tape? They said no. Again, that tape needs to be public. And I don't understand how it's not public, and I don't understand why there is not a bigger outcry. This is an issue that unites both sides of the aisle even. You look at Bernie Sanders supporters, and they're just as likely almost as people on the other side of the aisle to believe that Epstein did not kill himself. So this is the sort of issue where you could find some nonpartisan middle ground and actually get something done. But no, we don't hear anything about it. Nobody talks about it from the politicians that are in Congress, the same people that held hearings on steroids and all the other nonsense. They can't be bothered to figure out what happened in this case. Nope, we're busy. Don't you know we're busy, folks? Outside of Epstein's cell, there is a camera on the end of the short hallway that could have proved whether someone entered Epstein's cell. But that camera wasn't working the night Epstein was found dead in his cell. But you're the conspiracy theorists, folks. You have the tinfoil hats on. You shouldn't ask any questions. All of these coincidences? Bah, just coincidences. Just the perfect storm of screw-ups. It's no big deal. Do not worry or question. We're here to make sure everything is right. We'll investigate ourselves, too, while we're at it. And don't you worry. We're going to be very transparent with those details. It's such a joke. It is such a joke. All the other cameras were working that night, but just mysteriously, this one camera pointed at Epstein's cell happens to not be working? Okay. I think that Mr. Epstein had a lot of information that could have harmed a lot of very important and powerful people around the world. And I think a full and complete independent investigation needs to be done to find out what happened, said Kuvin. And remember, folks, this isn't just a lawyer and Epstein's brother spouting off. Dr. Michael Baden has come out and said the same thing. And we can talk about his credibility till the cows come home, but what makes him any less credible than Bill Barr or the New York City medical examiner nobody had ever even heard of until this case popped up? So I don't want to talk about the credibility of Dr. Baden either. I'll tell you what, I believe him more than I believe any of these other knuckleheads running the official narrative. At least Baden's, pointed things out and shown us proof. These people have just said, listen, this is the narrative. You're going to believe it. End of story. And then their toadies in the media, all of their little symbiotic parasites in the legacy media, ran with it. They didn't question. They didn't ask why. They didn't demand to see the tape. Oh, no. They just ran with it. They were told what to say. Pathetic. WPBF 25 News contacted the Justice Department for a response, but has yet to hear back. Look, they're way busy. All right? The Justice Department is way busy. I mean, they're too busy to look into something like this anyway. I mean, anything that could possibly expose all of their besties, why would they be looking into that? Don't you know that they have doors to kick in South Central and bust crack dealers, and then they can seize all of their funds? Because, that's what they like to do. They'd much rather engage in their horrific war on drugs than actually destroy human traffickers who we know who were involved. They're just standing there in plain sight at this point. But here we are, right? The only two people arrested, two low-level guards that supposedly fell asleep. I don't even know if I believe that at this point. Now, where's their supervisor? Why isn't he or she busted? What about the people that were in charge of the chain of custody of the evidence? Where are they? Why are they not held responsible? And at the end of the day, isn't Bill Barr the one in charge of all of it? Why isn't he being held responsible? Well, all I can tell you is this, folks. The evidence does not line up, once again, with the official narrative. So we'll keep at it, and we'll keep waiting for them to drop this tape, right? If they want to end all of the Epstein didn't kill himself stuff, very simple. Release the tape. Just release it. Let everybody see what happened and release it. But they never will, because that's not how they roll. It's a secret. It's a public safety matter. Yeah, right. It's a keep your friends safe matter, you mean? Must be nice to be part of the club, folks. It must be nice. Well, it used to be nice, because in the year 2020, you know what time it is. We're coming into wreck shop. This is the year that the predator turns into the prey. And Mr. Barr, either you're with us or you're against us, my man. Either you're going to do the right thing or you are part of the problem and you need to be called out for it and you need to go. Because there's no half-stepping here. There's no middle ground here, folks. There's no tribalism. There's no partisanship. None of that. There is one goal, and one goal only in mind. Justice for the survivors of Epstein's trafficking ring. Nothing else is acceptable. All right, so tomorrow will be the third part in the Santa Fe series. And if you haven't listened to the first two parts, you're all set. You can go back and listen to them right now. The first one was Monday night. The second one was last night. And like I just said, the third one will be tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll talk about my trip to the Santa Fe Institute and my final conversation with my third source. So if you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. Also, if you'd like to help support the podcast, you can do that by clicking on the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. All right, everybody, I hope you all enjoy your night, and I will be back tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again.